How are you doing, Evan? Welcome back to the
Hello.
finale of the Restless Dreams adventure, in which
Woo!
you, Karus, the long-tooth shifter shaman, basically a kind of like a werewolf, battle with a evil, malevolent spirit known as the Dream Eater, which has attacked the people of Carafel Plateau and begin to claim their most precious resource, their children. Kind of like a
Rude.
horrible fantasy Freddy Krueger, because I
Yeah.
write things full of smiles, goddammit.
Yeah, you do.
So,
Just so many.
Karis, you travel past Vanderkelt Forest after defeating, through an act of goodwill and diplomacy, the Swarm Druid Azteca. You put her spirit to rest, and you head back to Juvelin, the town in which your ward, Damien, is waiting for you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, tired, completely exhausted, worn out, having faced a harrowing encounter with a very disturbed spirit. I come back. Is this the following day, or am I like literally just walking back into town right now?
Oh, you did. Well, last time we met, you were just fighting her as the dawn rose. You had to rest the night before. So right now it's just morning and you're heading towards the city. You didn't really rest. So we are just
I'm
resuming.
super tired. I obviously used my healing surge, so I'm back to full HP, but I am exhausted, and I walk back in. When I see my charge, I want to give him a tired yet reassuring smile. And
hold on. So
yeah.
you return to the city,
Uh-huh.
and when you return to Juvelin, you are greeted with disheartening news. More children have fallen into the unending sleep, indicative of the final, always lethal stage of the Dream Eater's curse. And among the innocents claimed, you find Damien lying in a bedroll, murmuring in his sleep. Lady Calavas gives you a grim look. In the night that you were gone, something has changed. Walda and Willem are attending to their daughter, but they're also in the room with you.
Okay. I furrow my brow worriedly as I look at Damien murmuring in his sleep.
Karus,
And
thank the
I
gods
close
you're
my
here.
eyes.
Lady Calavas runs up to you.
I shake my head. I go, when?
During the night, Walden and Willem shakily explained to you, he seemed fine in the evening. We invited him over to sup with us. But he never showed up for breakfast. When we went up to check up on him, he was unconscious on the floor. He wrote things on the walls, on the floorboards of our house. She pulls out a dagger. He has equipment on him, so he was armed. But she gives you back his dirk, and she explains what she saw. You don't see it where you are right now because you're in the House of Healing, but that's what you know.
Okay. May I see these? May I see what he wrote? I want to go back to their house and take a look at the things that he carved in their ground.
Yes, of course, at once. So, Walden and Willem take you back into their home, into Astera's room. The room is very plain, with a simple bedroll and a couple of chests and a closet filled with some girls' clothes.
Everything feels so three-dimensional in here. It's almost like I can touch them in 480p. This is amazing.
Don't worry, we'll install. Oh wait, no, hold on. We're Bethesda, so I'll re-release it in HD 5 more times. Don't worry about it.
Yes, but don't worry about it. After the second one, I'll just download the mod.
Not if I make those laws illegal. Don't you touch my intellectual property, motherfucker.
Curse you.
I feel like there's a lot of baggage here that we're letting out. Anyway, Bethesda bashing aside. So when you're inside the room, you look around and you find upon the woodwork, and yes, I know that the image you see before you is stonework. There is no perfect representation of what I was looking for.
Oh, so the walls are made of wood?
Yes. The walls, the ground, the ceiling, it's like a wooden room.
Oh, everything is made of wood. Okay, I'm gonna just assume that Damien did it himself.
Well, he had a dirk, and that's what Willem was. They didn't see him doing it, but they did find the aftermath. So you look around and you find the repetitions of the same phrases. Find us. Free us. Save us. But only once you come across the cryptic words, return to the darkness. Among these macabre writings and illegible scribbles, you behold the crude outlines of a flock of black-winged creatures with eerie white eyes flying along the floor like a river of ink. So you can investigate further using magic, your eyes, your local knowledge, or, oddly enough, your nature affinity. Go ahead.
I will use nature first.
Go ahead, do a nature check.
What is going on?
All right, so
24.
All right, so you spend sit there, just kind of scratching your head for several uninterrupted minutes of silence. They look like bats, but Xander kind of looks a bit closer at these inscriptions, at these animal carvings, and he points out that they look like bats, but they appear to be flying, towards the window. Like, the way that he's drawn them, it's like a river heading towards the outside towards the window, and they're going towards a source of light. Bats navigate via sound. The animals depicted in these inscriptions are actually moths.
Interesting.
At the windowsill, where the bats lead up to, there is a strange, five-pointed yellow flower, surrounded by lightly folds of white silk. It looks like a very, it's like a blossoming flower.
Yeah, I want to try to see if I can connect the dots and see if I can find any sort of historical reference to the spirits in some way, or, you know... wait, I'm on the wrong page here. This one. Okay, my history check is... meh. But I shall meh away! 27!
Nice!
Booyah!
Alright, so, you have not encountered yet any type of moth spirit. However, you know that, like any type of moth, they fly towards some source of light. What was it? It looks like there wasn't any sign of a struggle.
I want to see if there's any sort of historical context that might relate back to Mordecai or the Rockfall or the history of the village.
Okay.
And see if there's any sort of, like, you know, I want to know why would, if he was possessed by the spirits, why would he draw this and what could it possibly mean?
Okay, so moths travel toward light. Right. You know that instinctively. The connection that you make is, in the histories, these Deep Gnome, the Latharn, as their tribe was called, they traveled upwards toward the light, out from the dark of the Underdark. So it mirrors their path upwards. So it has some connection to the Latharn, possibly a entity of someone you haven't encountered yet. With all the information that you have. The flower standing by the windowsill that the carvings of the moths lead up to. The flowers on the windowsill are known as Morning Glory, colloquially called Moonflower. They earn their name as they usually bloom at night.
Interesting.
So there has definitely been spirit-based phenomena here. Before Damien entered the last stage of the Dream Eater's curse, he must have been visited by something that doesn't appear to be malevolent, as there's no evidence of a struggle, or he looks rather steady with the way that he carved these, not like with an erratic hand like it was forcing him. You can do an Arcana check to attempt to sense more of the remnant energies.
Shall. Tell me more, magical forces. 32!
Ooh, nice. Oh, dude, it's a game of extremes today for you.
This is the last one. Go hard or go home.
No, dude, just take away your d20. Just flip a coin when we fight now.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I probably have a better chance of hitting things if that were the case. Jeez.
So there are definitely semblances of a spiritual phenomenon occurring here. However, unlike the malicious ones, which gave you a profound sensation of sorrow and longing, you feel as if you're being led towards something in the distance, and it feels like a hopeful, almost trusting sensation, like someone asking for help. The entity that visited Damien before he succumbed and either instructed him or temporarily took over him and convinced him to carve these was not malicious.
Is there a way I might be able to try to figure out if I could do some sort of check to connect this particular spirit to this Smurf Mebley, or if it's a spirit that is connected to the curse in any way, shape, or form?
Okay, so just basing off your history check, which is really good, the moth itself is connected in the most relevant symbolism associated with the moth is dreams. So you may have stumbled upon a deeper aspect, or more like a deeper hidden aspect of the Dream Eater before only the malicious side was allowed to run rampant. Let's see. You recall that each individual member of the Litharn, Mazzari and Azteca, that you've encountered so far, lingered at the spot or area at which they died. Mazzari stayed in Felgor Mountain, and Azteca lingered in Vanderkelt Forest. As of now, you're not entirely sure who... just for the sake of the investigation right now, you're with the others, okay? Like, Lady Calavas, there's nothing more she can do for Damien other than she stabilized him. So Lady Calavas, Xander, and Berlo are in the room with you right now trying to help you investigate. So you don't know where Mordecai died, but Lady Calavas does. And she tells you... So Mordecai was actually captured during the final battle about a year or two before the Dream Eater curse emerged. And when Mordecai was captured, he was marched into the city in chains. Lady Calavas witnessed this because she was part of the expedition that took him in. It was strange because he had essentially willingly given himself up with very little of a fight. So the superiors wanted to take him into the town for public execution to appease the people. Basically, this is essentially the known terrorist who was, terrorizing their town during the war. However, he had concealed a dagger on his own person, and he slit his own throat at the front gate. And she recalls a very minor but peculiar detail. It was like as if his blood seeped into the earth, burrowing like worms. You realize that the entire time, Mordecai has been haunting Juvelin itself. His spirit lingers here.
He's been haunting what?
Juvelin.
He's been haunting the town?
Yes, his spirit has lingered here the whole time.
Okay, so he's haunting the whole village. This bitch, though. Okay, with my history check of awesome, does the town have a catacombs or some sort of underground area where his spirit may be lingering, hidden from the rest of the village? Or if not, where might I be able to find what happened to his body?
This is a city, so of course they have some sort of tombs or catacombs, like any standard city, near the temple of Sehenin, actually. The temple of... Actually, yeah, Sehenin, goddess of dreams. The temple at which Lady Calavas, for lack of a better word, works, and where Kaldor was buried. You do... it's just a catacomb, though. There's nothing special about it. You do realize, though, that with the knowledge that you've accrued, the moths may be what shall be leading you towards your destination, because whatever it is calling for you to help it. And the words "return to the darkness" resonate as the words that are not repeated among the find us, free us, save us.
Okay, so there's clearly a non. I'm just trying to put all this information together.
Mm-hmm.
A non-malevolent spirit, apparently controlled Damien in some sort of night, like sleepwalking escapade, where he went on a crazy scrawling spree. This spirit is asking for help, and and then I know that Mordecai's spirit is haunting the entire city. There are catacombs. Okay, there are catacombs, and okay, so I would like to do a check to try and figure out where I might be able to locate this. Is it possible for me to go back to Damien and see if I might be able to probe his mind or enter his dreams in a way to try and locate this spirit and speak to it or communicate with it, so I may be able to learn more on how I might be able to help the spirit?
In his current state, he's just in an endless dream, so he's going to be lost in the ether. What you need to do is wait for the spirit to return at the time that is appropriate for which it should return.
Got it. Okay, in that time, if that's the case, then I'm going to take a long-needed nap throughout the day.
Yes, and so do the others. They will fully rest, too, so they can help you.
Of course, across the day, and then wake up in the evening before the sun sets, because it's morning time now, right?
Yes.
For 8 hours, get my full everything back, feeling pretty good about myself, sort of, kind of.
Smart man.
And then I want to go explore the village a little bit, see if I might be able to learn more about the hauntings of Mordecai or this particular spirit. If I might be able to learn more from the townspeople instead of the spirit itself. If that's not necessary, player to DM, if that's not necessary because I'll learn everything I need to know, then I'd rather just, like...
you know almost everything you need to know. Do a perception check.
Okay. You have to excuse me, I'm like super exhausted because the AC broke in our house and it's like 100 degrees right now.
I heard that from Jerica, and I'm really sorry.
I am dying right now. Usually my office is not hot, but I'm like sitting in a pool of my own sweat.
I am sorry.
It's about as comfortable as it sounds.
You can do a perception while you're in the room for one last clue.
Perception check 25.
Like a boss. So, you look closer within this swirling miasma of bats with the white eyes up on their hind quarters and hind wings, and within this cloud, you spot the faintest outline of a wolf.
Kaiba! It's my baby! He's calling to me! I gotta go to him, guys! Guys, I gotta go to him! He fell down a well, and I need to save him!
Okay, well, hopefully you don't have
Damien,
to put a shotgun...
Kaiba fall down a well?
Hopefully you don't have to put a shotgun to his head by the end of this episode.
It's like, Damien, leave me to Kaiba. Did he fall down a well?
I don't like you anymore. I don't love you anymore. I hate you. Throws rock. But yeah, for those of you who are kind of confused what's going on right now, at the very beginning of this adventure, Karus lost his primary animal companion. The Dream Eater actually corrupted his animal companion, his spirit animal companion, and ripped it away from him. So right now he's trying to save it. But anyway, so you take a long, much-deserved rest and regain all of your mental and physical facilities. The others also, reacquire the supplies. Lady Kalawas is joining you to help you, and so is Xander and Berlo. Your full team is assembled, and they are there with you when they awaken. The weapons at the ready, and the sun is setting in the distance. Outside the window, again, the moonflowers are kind of drooping right now, but in the reducing light, they seem to be getting, and the encroaching moon, they start to become a bit more full and vibrant. Outside the window, when you do look out the window is aimed towards the temple, so you do see the temple in your vision. As the light fades, when darkness returns to the land, you get this tingling sensation, the same feeling of longing and same feeling of, I'll just say that feeling of longing. And you see peculiar floating lights, as if kind of like when your eye catches the sun in a weird way, like spots in the distance. And these floating lights, these shadowy creatures dance like wispy purple leaves as they stream into the distance. The remnant moth spirits return as the night falls, and they're pointing you.
These spears.
They're pointing you towards your final destination. So.
Okay, I follow them.
With each step, the mist.
Give me a sec. 1 second. 1 second.
1. Time out.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Keep yourself hydrated. Do not die of heat stroke.
Yeah, I'm slowly removing articles of clothing from my baths.
Strip D&D, my favorite. Every time you take hit point damage. Whoop. Anyway.
It's more fun to play with girls than it is with boys, to be honest. You play with a room full of boys, things get awkward pretty quickly.
It depends. Not everyone has the same preferences. But I digress. With each step, the mist creeps back around you, seemingly nipping at your heels. Eventually, your guides lead you out of the city and towards a rock formation at the base of Felgor Mountain. So instead of the catacombs, it does lead you past the city. You're following these purple moths with the white eyes on their hind wings as they're wisping you towards the location wordlessly, because they're not powerful enough to speak to you. The last journey will take you underground once more, and Mordecai's spirit, filled with malice and hatred and sorrow, lingers underneath the city, along with the corrupted wolf spirit Kaiba. Find him and put him to peace, either through force of will or the point of your spear.